bought some chicken.
Dude, he was hating on y'all.
Let's jump on that story. So we're in Corpus doing a show, and I don't want to. Hey, can you give me another beer, motherfucker? I don't want to drag Willie Anderson's name through the mud, but what we knew of was his cousin, right?
Yes,
it could be true or not true. Yeah, it could be true or not true.
We don't know. Yeah,
we knew it was his cousin. He was a promoter, wanted us to perform in Corpus Christi. And no
one took me serious because I looked so fucking young.
So
that was
so we're there doing sound check, and then you check. How does that story go?
You guys were complaining y'all were hungry.
Yeah, because we're like there for the day, right? Like
we're all complaining to you.
To me, this kid, and I'm like, okay, so I tell the guy.
We're all kids, yeah.
I'm telling the guy,
hey,
I'm
he
like,
was the oldest one, so
the guys are hungry. We need something to eat. They need something to eat. It's like, okay, we'll go, whatever, right? So I get in the van. It was a van. Yeah,
it was that van. We all went in the van.
Back. And there was another guy there who's kind of cool. I think he was with another group or something. Or his assistant. I forgot what the guy was.
I thought we were the only ones performing. I don't remember that.
Maybe. But the guy, that other dude was there that was with that guy.
Yeah, two
that dude you're talking about. Yeah. He was driving. And he started going off on me like about you guys fucking ungrateful and blah, 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 and this and that. And I'm sticking up for you guys. And they're like, and he starts cussing at me, and I'm like, fuck you, motherfucker, and stop the fucking car. And I fucking got out and just started walking back. Like, fuck you, man. And I was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
And what did I tell you guys when I got there? I was like, fuck this dude.
Pissed. I couldn't believe you walked. And
he was walking.
It was a while, but it wasn't like far. But I was like, fuck this motherfucker, man.
But yeah, you'd rather walk than go the rest.
I'm trying to fucking do something here, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying my hardest, bro. Like, fucking really trying, you know?
Yeah.
And fuck this guy, dude. So I think we winded up still doing the show.
Yeah, in front of
like 5
people. Over there, we had our own ride.
We had our own ride, I think.
We were in Malibu.
No, I don't know.
No, I remember riding in their van.
Yeah,
we were with them.
Malibu.
Yeah.
No, we were riding in their van because it was those two guys in the front, and we were in the van.
Yeah, shit like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, but this is before the album dropped. I think we had the single at that time.
Probably so. Yeah.
But. Man, I don't know, man. That was fucked up.
Yeah, it was.
But I got no respect, man, back then. It was just, I mean, it was all new.
We were young. And again, a genre that's just barely becoming its own.
Starting hip-hop.
Yeah.
Like, it was
just... In a city, an industry in a city that really didn't exist at the time. And,
but,
man, it was cool being on the forefront of it, but it was so many leaps and,
And no one could see the future. No one could see how big it would be.
You did, and I think we were at fault for that as well. Like, a lot of it was... rapping and performing, not even performing. I don't think performing is what got me. Was writing and making songs, but was just selfishly because I wanted to do something like a hard rapper, a gangster rapper, or anything that wasn't radio. And really, that's the key was right there, dude.
Right there in front of you, dude.
Suck the radio.
Suck
the radio.
Like,
get on there. That's what you want.
Mondo, so where I thought we were going to definitely make it is when we did the show for Vanilla Ice. Mm-hmm. Then I think we did like a couple of shows for them, but then when Tommy Kwan came into town, is when you guys had a meeting with them.
Actually,
and so that's something that I thought that everybody was there.
Oh, it's funny.
But from what he says is that he wasn't there.
I was not there.
And that y'all were there.
I met Tommy Kwan before you guys did.
Okay.
It was weird. I remember it like yesterday.
Years before, or you mean like
it was
the day before?
It was a year actually, probably before we linked up with him because he was in a van, in a beat up van actually with Vanilla Ice.
Was this before Vanilla Ice was blowing up, right?
He wasn't out. He hadn't blown up yet.
Yeah.
It was cold. I remember it was winter because it was cold, and he had shorts, and I was like, "Why is he wearing shorts? It's cold." And it was Sunday, and remember Sunday was kind of weird. It wasn't packed, that image, but it was okay, kind of thing. And no one knew who this. And Hammer was big at that time.
Yeah.
So nobody knew who he was, like whatever. So we're like, "Oh, we got this guy Vanilla Ice coming in." So they come in and. Beat up van. I meet Tommy Kwan in the booth. He's their manager. His manager.
Yeah.
He's going to every city, like taking
Texas
this
tour.
Texas tour.
Promoting.
So I meet his DJ Deshay, which I winded up battling him in Dallas.
DMC,
and I winded up beating him. But I remember him.
Yeah.
I met him, and I remember he had a what is that called? A Gemini mixer, which I wanted at that time, but I didn't have money for that. And he had 212.
Steal it, son.
And then he had cassette decks. He had like 2 of them, I think. And he was playing the songs off of the cassette decks. Beat up cassette decks.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, we had to wire all this shit to the booth and everything. And so he did a show. he did Ice Ice Baby. He did Play That Funky Music. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of okay, whatever. 6 months later, the video drops.
Yeah, that's all it took. The video, yeah.
Fucking blows.
Remember we did the San Marcos show with him and thought we were going to do a couple more, and then he got on the MC Hammer tour, and then blew up on the MC Hammer tour, right? Yeah. Then he started headlining his own shit. It was like
crazy,
like it took him from right out from underneath us. Like,
dude,
we had our
I'm
opportunity.
Just telling y'all,
but
man.
would we have been smart enough? You would have, but would we have been smart enough to say this is our
I
audience?
told you, man. I told you what happened. You guys, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I mean, we did that. He blew up, and we're right there. We could have still done it.
Yeah.
But, you know, and I thought the album Welita's Kitchen was great.
Yeah,
I mean, you spent a lot of time on it.
Yeah, no, you listened to it today. Like we were listening to like the other day, where I mean, maybe not the other day, but and you hear, and it's good stuff. I mean, for back then it was like real creative. Wasn't what you see from San Antonio or South Texas.
Oh, no.
You would hear that, and you would think it's a cassette from New York or a cassette from Chicago. You wouldn't think it's some local kids from San Antonio doing. So,
and mind you, I was. You know, I'm learning. It's not that I knew everything. I just loved it. I was so fucking in love with it. Like, I just wanted to know everything. DJing, like, you name it.
Yeah.
You know, and like, you know, some people knew I did beats, you know, but it was
PKO knew you did beats, motherfucker.
Yeah, but like
they dissed us on their track.
They did, album. But you know, I was just learning. You know, and you know, I hung out with him for one night. One day, actually, they wanted me to produce some track for some girl, you know, PKO, and they really wanted me to learn how to use that drum machine. And I learned later that they had an SP12, not an SP1200, which is different. You know, the sampling, you know, thing you could do with the 1200. So I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have any equipment.
Yeah.
I was a DJ, you know, trying to produce, you know. So after I heard that, I'm like, holy shit, they dissing me, like, for I don't know why, because I didn't do beats.
No, that was a compliment. I think
I guess, man,
yeah, it's because we're telling Charles that when we're talking to him that when they dissed us, his version of it was, well, first I say it's a compliment. They don't diss the guy at the bottom. They diss the guy on top. So they're coming after us because we're a threat or we're up there.
Oh, probably.
You know what I'm saying? They're not going to go insult a group nobody knows of.
Gotcha.
So we're relevant.
Yeah.
But Charles' view was, why did they diss us and not them? Why did, like, we were both on the album, but I think it was Mondo had something to do with it. I also think they're black, we're not. We didn't belong in that
and
industry.
I lived in the West Side. I was so poor, man. Like, I lived in the hood. So, you know, I had a few black friends that lived in that side of town, but I didn't know many on the other side. Yeah. And it was crazy.
We didn't know
it's
the
like,
East Side crowd,
well, when I would battle, there was a DJ battle going on. It was cool because I knew my homie Vino from the East Side was going to be at that battle. Every time there was a DJ battle, it was always me and Vino there. It was like, hey, what's up? Like,
were y'all like the top two? Like, who would you say was your
closest? I don't know, man. I would rarely see. I would rarely see AK, but I would see Vino at every battle.
Yeah.
And it was cool, man, because I never really got to talk to Vino. I would see him every now and then at those battles, and we would talk and laugh and, you know, like, do our thing, like, whatever. Whoever won, you know. I won some, he won some, you know.
So he would actually win some.
I think, I mean, it was cool because, you know, we didn't hang out.
No, I didn't see anybody doing what you're doing back then. Like, you were so good when we did a show, we couldn't do a show without that little, you know, presentation, because we knew we were showing something that most of the audience had never seen before. Nowadays, I say you can find that stuff, but back then, you've never seen something like this before. Probably didn't even appreciate that you were doing it without headphones.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? When you're a DJ, you know how difficult that is.
No headphones, you can't cue anything. So I would practice. That's how I knew where everything was at.
Yes, my brother. Yes,
everything.
my brother.
I would not. It was
Why
so
does
crazy.
everybody do the same ones? I've heard other DJs do it, and they do that Run DMC.
Now it's Serato, so it doesn't matter. But back then, I would practice so much. I would know if the needle jumped forward or back, and whether to spin it that way or the other way to catch where I needed to go. Because I just practice all the fucking time.
And you can't do that with the new stuff now, right?
No. Well, the new stuff, it doesn't really jump. It's Serato, so it's not going to skip.
Yeah.
It's going to be there
But
regardless.
you can still do stuff like that? Like,
yeah.
Really?
But the thing is, you can't needle drop like you did, but you could back then.
Yeah.
And back then, I would mark all my stuff, so I would just...
I remember that piece of tape.
Yeah, the tape. You know?
I didn't know what that meant. I watched the Grandmaster Flash did it, and it's weird. Like it plays and it goes. That's right there.
Yeah.
So you know if you're, but you just went 8 beats backwards. It was kind of cool.
So
never got that, but yeah, that thing
just
actually was on
practice.
beat. Yeah,
It's just all practice, and sometimes I just know how far I needed to spin or do whatever I needed to do. Some nights I was on point. Some nights I was like, damn, what the fuck? You know what I mean? But, I made it work.
So we may have to continue this. We're not done yet. But I want to talk
Commercial break?
after. No, I want to talk to Stigma and the groups afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk a little bit of what do you remember of our tour when we did
Which one?
Louisiana, Arkansas on the bus.
Okay.
So I'm going to take you to, we performed in Austin at some civic center or
Yes,
rec
I remember
center.
that,
I don't remember what the event was for, but I think Abraham G. Unique got us that gig. We performed from there, and from there we went straight onto the tour bus.
Yes.
What do you remember of that? We driving that night. Do you remember falling asleep? I don't remember sleeping in the bus.
I
know we slept in the bus, but
I had to have slept.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And remember, we just had chips and sodas. And so where did we go first?
No,
We
that
leave
was
Austin?
another argument that you had with them.
I'm hungry.
Yes,
Sure, everyone's hungry.
no, that was another
I
argument.
think Mark
that
was
you had
hungry
with
all the time.
them. Yeah, that was but that was
I
another
remember the
argument.
bus driver up in front, like on that. Like, oh, this is badass.
So I remember
You're our bus driver.
No, we pulled up to like a truck stop, and everybody was like, "Man, we're hungry. What are we gonna eat?" And
So we leave
so
Austin
then-
and we're driving. We stop at it because
Yeah,
Dallas is our first destination, right?
Yeah.
We're going to Dallas after Austin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but I remember we stopped, and so then Abraham got us like sandwiches.
Did
And
he?
so yes,
I think he did, yeah.
They
So
got us
Abraham was
sandwiches.
on the bus with us. I don't even
Yes.
remember him being on the bus with
Yeah,
us.
He might have been, but I remember him getting those sandwiches.
was-
Yeah.
He got us sandwiches.
Yeah.
And Mondo was like, dude,
crazy.
like that's all we're gonna eat, like sandwiches. And like you gotta get us like real food.
You gotta feed my boys.
Yeah, so he was
As
like,
long as we have some
Even
of
though
this
I don't
and
need
chips,
it, I don't need a lot
yeah,
now.
so
but-
so I remember that they got into an argument because of that, and I mean we didn't get
I don't remember
anything
that. I
else.
don't remember that. I
Did I
remember
fight
y'all
with
getting
him?
food.
I probably did, right?
Yeah, you got into an argument with them because of that, because you're like,
No
man,
one took
what
me
else are we gonna
serious,
eat?
man.
Yeah,
No one took me
You're
serious.
like a fucking 13-year-old.
No, it's like,
We didn't take ourselves serious, bro.
that is true.
So what do you remember? As we get on the bus, we're heading to Dallas. What do you remember? What we were going to Dallas
I
for?
remember
to pick up.
the one thing I do remember
yeah, to pick up
is
G-Rock.
yes, what's his name?
G-Rock.
G-Rock.
G-Rock. He had a SP 1200. I was
Is that why they were
I was
picking
so
him up, or
jealous,
what?
He was
man.
performing. I
And a
think.
hot
He was
chick.
performing.
And a hot chick.
And a hot chick that he did, I think.
Supposedly,
Supposedly.
that's not on the record. This is not going to be on the record right now.
You said you did.
I definitely did.
Hold on. We're
Hold on,
going to
what?
go into a commercial break right now. Let Richard tell us about that moment.
That bitch.
Okay, he did.
He did.
No, you
I
didn't.
kept a bra for a fucking.
No. So that's where.
souvenir.
There you go.
So that's where they picked up G-Rock and that other guy too, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. The guy that stole stuff.
Reebok.
Yes.
Reebok.
MC Reebok.
Sold all
Motherfucker
of
stole
our
shit.
overalls.
Let's put those pieces together. I remember.
Why
there was
would
a
he
fight.
steal someone's overalls in a tour,
I don't know,
knowing
like-
that
like-
it's somebody's in the
Like,
tour?
he had
When is he gonna
borrowed
wear
Tony's.
them? I don't understand.
Hey, for the record, he had borrowed Tony's.
Yeah, Tony.
And they ripped up. They
Sorry
ripped
about
up
that,
Tony's.
Hey,
on.
hey, when you was pathetic.
For the record, I was a graffiti artist on those fucking overall.
Oh,
yeah.
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Hey, you know what's fucked up? So I borrowed, seriously, from this guy Tony some T-Bones, his overalls. I borrowed them, so I'm responsible for it, right? They stole them, and I just told them, hey, I got bad news.
They stole your overalls. Oops. My
They stole
bad.
your overalls.
No, the